My current 2020 NFL playoff predictions. These are my AFC division standings. I predict the Buffalo Bills will win the AFC East with an 11-5 record. They've looked most likely like the better team. I mean, the Patriots came in strong, but, they've lost a couple. I think the Jets are the worst team in the NFL. The Dolphins have looked pretty strong, but not enough to, be better and take that number one place from the Bills. My AFC West predictions, obviously the Kansas City Chiefs, 12-4. They've gone 12-4 in their past 3-4 seasons. That just seems like the obvious choice. They don't really have a lot of competition. They did lose to the Raiders, but the Raiders aren't going to have a better record than the Chiefs. So obviously I'm going to take the Chiefs in that situation. AFC North, I predict the Steelers to be 13-3 and win the division over the Ravens. They did play that game over Sunday. The Ravens, it was kind of a poor game on both sides. I mean, Lamar Jackson didn't really throw the ball good. Their defense came out strong. The Steelers' defense did, but the Steelers' offense is really poor, and they're gonna have a lot of problems on that side that they're gonna have to fix if they want to be that number one team. Browns, I think, will go 10-6. They've Baker's had his on and off days. They look poor, but ultimately, I think they'll, have a record like that. Cincinnati Bengals 5-10-1. Joe Burrow, he'll be decent. His rookie year, he's good. He's a good player, and I think they have a good future with him. But obviously, it's not going to get done this year. So hopefully, it'll get done next year for them. AFC South, you got the Tennessee Titans. The Titans have looked poor in their past two games, losing to the Bengals and Steelers. Their offense has been off mark, and their defense has given up a lot of points. They did, however, trade for former All-Pro corner Desmond King, so look for that to help them, and hopefully they can get back on track. The Colts, they started strong. I just don't see them being that consistent. I have them finishing 8-8. Texans, it's just been a really bad year for them. You trade DeAndre Hopkins in the offseason. Poor Deshaun Watson. And now, there's all these trade rumors swirling around about their entire receiving corps, and it's really bad for them. That's probably why they fired O'Brien. But the Jaguars, they only got one win so far in the season. They benched Minshew. Jake Luton, the rookie's going to come out, and at this point, you're probably tanking for a new quarterback. Possibly Fields or even Lawrence. Most likely the Jets are going to get Lawrence, but the Jaguars are probably moving on from Minshew. Number 1 seed is obviously going to be Steelers with that 13-3 record. Number 2 seed, the Chiefs, 12-4. Number 3 seed, I have the Titans, 12-4. It could switch between them and the Bills. I mean, the Titans have been sloppy, but the Titans do have the tiebreaker over the Bills. So, yeah. Number 4 seed Bills, 11-5. Josh Allen, he's just, yeah. And then a frustrating season for the Ravens. You're going to go 12-4, but you're still going to end up in the number 5 seed as the Steelers are going to take the division from you. Number 6 seed Cleveland Browns, 10-6. Like I've said, they could switch between, my number 7 seed or whatever. I have the Dolphins tied with the Raiders for a 9-7 record. They do play each other this season, so, depending on how that game goes, could depend on, their placement in the playoffs. My AFC playoff matchup predictions are the Dolphins will head over to Kansas City Chiefs, KC, and KC will come away with the win, 38-24. Cleveland will head over to Tennessee. Tennessee will beat them in a one-score game, 34-28. The Ravens, having a frustrating season, will head over to Buffalo, and they will beat Buffalo on the road. Lamar Jackson will light up their defense, and I just think that the Ravens are going to keep Josh Allen in check, and he's just going to have one of those bad games. So I think the Ravens are going to win 30-27. Divisional round, Ravens will head to Steelers for a rematch. They unfortunately will not get revenge. The Steelers will win 24-21 in another low-scoring defensive game. Tennessee Titans, they will head to Kansas City Chiefs. I think that they'll come away with the upset. A rematch of the AFC Championship game last year. I think that they'll come away with the upset. I think that they'll work out their defense. I think that Mahomes will still score a lot of points, but I also think that their offense, the Titans' offense, will score a lot of points too, and I think it's just going to come down to the final seconds. I think Titans will win on a final field goal, 38-35. Titans will walk away with the win. Very upsetting season for the Chiefs. Championship, I had the Titans heading to the Steelers. Steelers, probably another defensive game rematch. Fortunately, again, the Titans will not get revenge. It will be the Steelers 28-27 in a most likely defensive game. So, heading over to the NFC division standings, here are my predictions. I think that the Eagles, poor NFC East division, I think the Eagles will finish 7-8-1 and unfortunately win that division, which is extremely embarrassing. Number 2, Washington football team have them finishing second with a 6-10 record. They've already beat the Cowboys. Number 3, Cowboys. I mean, the Cowboys are probably just done with their season at this point. I mean, they're already down to their third string. Dalton goes on the COVID list, and Ben DiNucci does not look good. He does not look promising, and it's just another very upsetting season for Cowboys. Number 4, the Giants. They did almost pull up the win over the strong teamed Bucks. Fortunately, Daniel Jones missed a lot of missed opportunities in that game that could have won them the game. So the Giants are still on pace for that top 3 pick. So 3-13 for the Giants. NFC West have the Seattle Seahawks winning 13-3. They're just probably the best team right now. And the NFC strong. They did lose to the Cardinals, but the Cardinals are going to lose some key games. Cardinals are going to go 11-5. The Rams have just had a sloppy season. I mean, that's being generous, giving them a 9-7 record. I mean, you lost to the Dolphins. You don't have any excuses, really. I mean, it's just bad. So the Rams are going to be 9-7, probably less than that. 49ers, Garoppolo, he's been suffering an ankle injury. He's going to be out for however long and indefinitely. You've probably lost Kittle for the rest of the season with a fracture in his foot. And it's just poor season for the 49ers. Really upsetting. You go from the Super Bowl to how you were before. And, at this point, you're probably moving on from Garoppolo and looking for a pick. So, I think they'll probably be lower than 8-8, but I'll just give them that. Green Bay Packers, I was kind of off, 13-3, 12-4. I didn't know what to give them because you beat the Saints, But then you get smashed by the Bucks. Then you lose to the 1-6 Vikings, which was very poor and unacceptable. So I'm just going to give you a 12-4 record. They have an easy remaining schedule. I mean, the Bears 11-5, probably going to end up being 10-6. Doesn't really matter. I still have them as the 7th seed. But the Bears, they're just, they came into the season strong. Nick Foles looked good, and now your offense is just horrible. Your defense carries you every game, and you still find ways to lose games. The Detroit Lions, 6-10. Matthew Stafford once again looks good. Once again loses games. Once again they're gonna have a bad season. Vikings, 5-11. I mean, at this point, you're probably moving on from Cousins, even after all that money you've paid him. Very frustrating for the Vikings. But, so Vikings 5-11. Another team that goes from playoffs to nothing. NFC South, you got the New Orleans Saints being 12-4. It was another team I was on and off about 13-3, 12-4. But the Saints do have a few upcoming games, including the Buccaneers and Chiefs. But I actually think they'll beat the Buccaneers on Sunday. I think that they'll take the division from the Buccaneers. The Buccaneers are going to have a lot of problems down the field, down the stretch to the playoffs. They'll lose a few games. So I think the Buccaneers will go 11-5, Saints 12-4. Panthers, Bridgewater, in my opinion, he's a good QB. But you haven't had McCaffrey. You've lost a lot of previous games, and you're going to finish 8-8. There's just a lot of things wrong with that team. Falcons, 3-13. I mean, they have won pretty good games recently. I mean, they look good ever since they got rid of Dan Quinn. But, I mean, they're at this point, they're most likely tanking for picks or whatever because there has been rumors that they're probably going to end up moving on from Ryan. I mean, I don't think Ryan's the problem, but, it's just what they think, and they're probably going to want to try something new to win games because it's been something that's been going on for the past few years on them. Number 1 seed, these are my seeding predictions. Number 1 seed, Seattle Seahawks with that 13-3 record. Number 2 seed, the Green Bay Packers, 12-4. They have the tiebreaker over the Saints in Week 3. Number 3 seed, once again, the New Orleans Saints, 12-4. Number 4 seed, the Philadelphia Eagles, being 7-8-1. Also had the 4 seed last year with a 9-7 record. Number 5 seed, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, 11-5. Number 6 seed, the Cardinals, will be 11-5. And then number 7 seed, the Bears, are probably going to be 10-6, but I mean they'll still be the 7th seed. Doesn't really matter. So here are my NFC matchup predictions. The Bears are going to head over to Green Bay. Green Bay is going to beat them 31-24. They're just not going to be able to slow down Rodgers, and their offense is just going to really struggle. Cardinals are going to head over to the Saints in a 2009 Super Bowl rematch in the playoffs. But the Saints are going to win 31-28 and prevail. The Buccaneers are going to head over to the Philadelphia Eagles. The Buccaneers are going to win on the road 35-24. Divisional round, I have the Bucks. The Bucks are going to head over to Seattle. They're going to face the Seahawks. Seahawks are going to win 38-35 in a offensive explosion. New Orleans Saints are going to head over to the Green Bay Packers in an outdoor freezing game. Breeze is going to have his revenge over Rodgers, and the Saints are going to win 34-31. Championship game, Saints are going to stay on the roll. They're going to head over to Seattle in a rematch of the Beastquake, and the Saints are going to get their revenge once and for all, and they are going to light up the scoreboard along with Seattle, and it's going to come down to the final seconds. The Saints will win 45-42. Both teams having very poor secondaries and poor defenses. These offenses are too good. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game, and I had the Saints prevailing with their well-rounded team. Super Bowl 55, I have the Steelers.